So the 2023 NFL Draft is coming up at the end of April. We just launched our new draft channel here at Chat Sports. We've been pushing out a bunch of content on here, mock drafts, player profiles. So if you're a real one and you've been loving our new draft channel, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And coming up on today's show, as the host of Philadelphia Eagles now, I went through ESPN's 7-round mock draft to see who ESPN's Jordan Reid has going to the Birds. Some really fascinating picks. Some I like, some I don't. That's what's coming up right now on our new draft channel by Chat Sports. Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles now, I'm going to react to ESPN's 7-round Philadelphia Eagles mock draft from their draft expert, Jordan Reid. And we first take a look at all of the Eagles' picks in the 2023 NFL Draft. They're locked and loaded. This is Howie Roseman with some really good selections here. 2 picks in the first round, 10th overall, 30th overall, a second-round pick at number 62, round 3, 94th overall, and then a big gap there from round 3 all the way until round 7. I'm cool with that. Ideally, you'd have a 4th, 5th, 6th-round pick because you can find some really good players with those picks. But look, you have 2 first-rounders, a second-rounder, and a third-rounder. You can get some premium talent there, and then you round out with those 2 seventh-rounders, 219 overall, and then 248th. With that, today's poll question is this. This is going to be our pinned comment. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, use it to your advantage. We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. Who is your favorite Eagles draft target? I'm talking one player that you absolutely love. Let us know down below right now. Without further ado, the ESPN full 7-round mock draft. Jordan Reid has Nolan Smith heading to the Birds at number 10 overall. He did take an official visit to Philadelphia in the pre-draft process. It's obviously pretty telling because that means that the Eagles have interest, and Nolan Smith is probably happy about the idea as well. A freakish athlete who really did a great job at the NFL Scouting Combine. Coming out of high school, a recruit who everybody was salivating over, and his college career didn't really live up to those lofty expectations. Some concerns here, ran into some injury issues, but my goodness, when you watch this guy move, short burst on the 10-yard shuttle, on the 40-yard dash, his overall strength, he has special ability playing in a Georgia defense that obviously has a lot of pro concepts. In 2021, 53 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles to go along with 1 interception. And then in 2022, he went from 12 games played in 2021 to only 8 this past year for the national champion Georgia Bulldogs. Only 18 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. So the production there, on top of the injuries, a little bit of a concern. But can the Eagles pass up on a guy who is really making it happen from Indianapolis at the Scouting Combine? It's going to be tough. And he could go number 10. He could go earlier if teams fall in love with the athletic physical profile because this guy is freaky. Jordan Reid on Smith to Philly saying this, Philadelphia general manager Howie Roseman has been strategic with how he attacks positions in round 1, anticipating roster needs sometimes a year or 2 in advance. He has poured resources into the defensive line to supplement the veterans on the roster. Drafting Smith would be another strategic move, as he is similar to a player the Eagles have already in Haason Reddick. Smith is an explosive outside linebacker who can rush standing up or with his hands in the ground. He would be an addition that fits the mold of what the organization covets. So a player who has some versatility. Stand-up edge rusher, outside linebacker, or a guy who can put his hand in the dirt as well. At number 30, this is a player who we've talked about a lot here on the show, but like Nolan Smith, injury issues as well as production issues. Now, earlier in the draft cycle, leading up to the NFL draft in late April, final Thursday, by the way, we'll be going live for it night 1 on Eagles Now. A lot of mocks had Brian Breesy going to the Birds at number 10. But because of some concerns with him and an all too average showing at the Scouting Combine, a lot of mock drafts have him going later in the first round. You look at his stats in 10 games played in 2022 for Clemson, 15 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and 2 pass breakups. A pretty good athlete at defensive tackle, which is what Jordan Reid kind of said in his profile here. I gave the Eagles outside linebacker Nolan Smith at number 10, and I'm sticking with the front 7 here. Bresee suits the versatility of the Eagles scheme. He has played every position along the line, but projects best as a 3-technique defensive tackle. His agility and quickness make him capable of playing off the edge in a late-down situation, which is what he did frequently in college, although Bresee must be more consistent. It will help him go to a team with a veteran defense, which Philadelphia has. He has the potential to be a mainstay next to 2022 first-rounder in Jordan Davis. My concerns here, the lack of production, some of the injuries that he's suffered. He's really been injured every year of his college career at Clemson. And then lastly, it's the inconsistency. But that athleticism at defensive tackle is certainly an attractive trait. So 2 picks down here for Jordan Reid, a lot more left to get to. Greatest first 2 picks, A, B, C, D, or F. Share your thoughts down in the comment section. Get those pens out. Now we go to pick number 62. This is a pick that I would really like. Why is that? Well, I've been saying all offseason, I think the Eagles need an upgrade from Quez Watkins at wide receiver 3, who the analytics show had one of the worst drop rates when open in the NFL. Marvin Mims out of Oklahoma to the Eagles at 62. This guy in 2022 was an awesome player. A little bit slighter, but that's fine because you already have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith with the Sooners this past year. 54 catches, more than 1,000 yards. Average yards per catch, 20.1 and 6 touchdowns. And his overall production in Norman, Sky tore it up. He played a lot, and with that came a lot of production. 37 games played throughout his collegiate career, 123 catches for almost 2,400 yards, 19.5 yards per catch. So a big play threat who's very quick and speedy, 20 touchdowns as well. Jordan Reid on Mims to Philadelphia. The Eagles' underrated need, depth at wide receiver. He must watch the show. It's a top-heavy group with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but they don't have much after those two. Mims, who averaged more than 20 yards per catch over the last 2 years, could compete with Quez Watkins for the wide receiver 3 spot, creating an intriguing battle for the vertical threat spot. And I think that Marvin Mims is just the better player than Quez Watkins. I trust his hands a little bit more. He has really good speed like Quez Watkins, but if you can trust him to utilize that speed a little bit more, that's why I like the player. I would love this pick for Philadelphia. He would be a Quez upgrade. Before we continue to move forward, make sure you subscribe to us here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. For those of you watching on our NFL Draft channel on Chat Sports, if you're an Eagles fan, we do shows every single day on Eagles Now. We've been doing draft content for months. We're going to continue to rock it up until draft time. And once the draft comes around, we're, of course, going to continue to crush. Now let's go to 94th overall, another player who I really like. I covered Penn State when I used to work for WNEP in Scranton, Pennsylvania. If you're watching from the 570, type 570 in the comments. Jair Brown. The Eagles need to start developing another safety on a rookie contract who can play behind Terrell Edmunds, who's on a 1-year deal, and Reid Blankenship, another young player. We'll see what else the Eagles do at that safety spot. When I watched Penn State this past year, and when I went back and watched some of the tape on Jair Brown, this guy's everywhere. He can play in the box, and I trust him on the back end as well. You look at his numbers from this past year, which resulted in Penn State winning in the Rose Bowl over Utah. A very good performance. Good win for James Franklin. Good way for Sean Clifford to go out. 74 tackles. 7 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. That goes to show you that you can use him in a very versatile way. Box safety, safety on the back end, 4 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. It seemed as though when Penn State needed a big play defensively, Jair Brown came through, especially against Wisconsin, had a couple of really good moments. Here's what Jordan Reid had to say about Jair Brown. Even after signing Terrell Edmunds, the Eagles need to add another safety to make up for the losses of C.J. Gardner-Johnson as well as Marcus Epps. Brown is a versatile defender who will play primarily as a free safety. Finished last year with the Nittany Lions, 56 total tackles and 4 picks. The real ones know And we'll take this, use this as an opportunity to do a real one roll call. The real ones know that Jair Brown is a straight-up stud. And if you get him at this point of the draft, awesome, awesome value for Philadelphia, for an organization that really does value. Pick number 219 in the 6th round, Mohamed Ibrahim. Now, if you remember, 2 years ago when he was playing for Minnesota, the leading rusher in college football. Then he popped his Achilles. That's why he's probably going to go down draft boards a little bit. In 2022, though, came off that injury, still was really, really productive and utilized a lot under P.J. Fleck. 320 carries, 1,665 yards, 20 touchdowns, and still has that vertical speed, a long of 54. As for Jeremy Banks, this is a player. I was talking to Matthew Peterson, sits next to me here at Chat Sports, linebacker. He went to Tennessee, did Petey. He said, Jeremy Banks, very emotional player. He does have some character concerns. Used to be a running back, now plays linebacker. I like taking chances on players this late in the draft. You have nothing to lose. Not a lot of guaranteed money there. You're not going to have to pay them all that much money. And if the pick works out, it only works to your advantage because you're paying them very small amounts of money over the course of that rookie contract. He was a running back turned linebacker. So that goes to show you that this guy is a very, very good athlete at 6'1", 224. He's going to have that speed as well. Going to have to bulk up that frame if he wants to play linebacker at the NFL level. Some character concerns, as I said. He's certainly an emotional cat who would make some big plays, but also have some down moments. And because of those character concerns, could be a D3 guy. So that is the end of our draft video here on Philadelphia Eagles Now and on our NFL Draft channel by Chat Sports. Give the comment section the D by typing D for the draft down below. We're in full draft mode here at Chat Sports. Cannot wait for it, and keep it locked for the best draft coverage that the entire YouTube universe has to offer.